Welcome to Table Reviews.
Yes!
I'm Logan Daniels,
And I'm Connor Austin.
and we're going to be reviewing some tables.
Let's get right into it.
But first, let's take a look at our categories. So our first category for the best tables, superior surfaces.
These are tables that are extremely exceptional, bestowed upon us mere mortals.
Yep. And then we have the bougie bench.
It is bougie.
Yep. And then the middle category just gets the job done.
Middle of the road tables, nothing exceptional or bad about them.
And then we have wobbly.
Now, this is not to be, in most cases, this is not to be taken literally. The table is not literally wobbly, but instead it is just performing at a lower level than gets the job done tier.
And then the last table, the worst tables go here. Gum on the bottom.
Bad.
Nothing worse than gum on the bottom of a table. And there's nothing worse than these tables.
Ain't that the truth, Logan Daniels?
Yep, let's get right into this ranking. Okay, so starting off the tables, we have this duo date lunch table. This one, it's a little bit small, but if you're eating alone, it's good. It gets the job done for what it's trying to do.
That's for sure. Next up, we have the flimsy U table. I would say it's pretty decent. You can find it in the hallways, specifically CTE hallway. I would say it's a bit wobbly though, so I'd say we put it in the wobbly ranking.
Okay, next. An absolutely terrible, just horrible addition to the lunchroom. It's these long rectangles with like the double benches. They are just so hard to get into, and they're always like slimy.
Yeah, there's always food on them.
Yeah, always food. We're putting that in the gum on the bottom category because those are just terrible.
It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Thankfully though, we don't have to deal with that for too long. Cause next up, we got the black science table, which you can draw on with your eraser or other materials. It's pretty fun. You find it in science rooms. I would say this will be our first bougie table of the session. It's pretty nice.
Bougie bench.
It's always clean.
Okay, next, we got the lab tables from the science classrooms. Now this one might be a bit of a hot take, but sure, they are very helpful for labs. Like, they're needed for labs. But they are so uncomfortable because it is at that height where it's a little bit too short if you're standing and a little bit too tall if you're sitting. And that's very annoying. But it does get the job done.
Very interesting placement, Logan Daniels.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the tall triangle table. A beautiful, beautiful piece of art. You'll find these most commonly in English classrooms. I would say, because it is a whiteboard top, and it's very comfortable to sit at, this would have to be a bougie bench in my book.
Right. And I think the only reason it's not a superior surface is because sometimes you just want your feet on the ground.
Preach.
Like, it's sometimes a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, next up, we have actually two pictures of this table, and they're going to be ranked separately. This is the Morgan Salisbury Morgan level collapsible whiteboard table. So it's a really good table. It's just like your standard table, everything you could ask for, with a whiteboard top. It is perfect at first glance. It is just like perfect. It's a bougie bench. But it has one fatal flaw.
There's a second phase to it.
Yeah. There, underneath the table, is a lever that if you pull it, it will fall backwards and the entire contents of the table will spill everywhere, which is not good if you're in a video classroom with expensive Macs on it. So that is just gum on the bottom. That's just terrible. Like, why is that a feature?
Truly a fatal flaw, and it falls the wrong way too.
Right.
With the way it's positioned, where the lever's facing you, and when you pull it, it'll fall the other direction. So next up, we have the teacher elevator table. You'll find these in almost every classroom. There's a few exceptions. These tables are great. I think they have a lot of prestige and mythology surrounding them. However, there have been numerous reports from those who use them that the lever to crank that soldier boy up and down does not work properly. And so, for that reason, we're going to have to give this a wobbly ranking.
Yep. Okay, next table. Oh my goodness. The round whiteboard tables found in the hallway, like right next to room 308. They're so good. Like there's so much space on them. There's plenty of room for 4 people. The whiteboard top, it's just everything you could ever ask for on a table.
Preach.
It is our first superior surface.
Truly, it is unbeatable. Next up, we have the short triangle table. This table is unmatched in its versatility. It can be arranged in a myriad of ways, creating beautiful works of art. In addition, it's got a whiteboard top. It's got a wonderful amount of space for you and, in most cases, you only, which is really nice to have. Really a lovely table. And for that, we'll give it a superior surface.
Next one, an absolute just head scratcher of a table. Like, why is this here? It's a 1 of 1. It's in one learning pocket somewhere, and it is a wood table. It is just like some other whiteboard tables. It just does not have the whiteboard top. Like, what is the point? Where did this table come from? Why is it here?
So strange.
Like, it's just a table.
Truly an enigma of our time.
If it had a whiteboard, it would get the job done. It is wobbly.
Next up, we have the tall rectangle table, found in various learning pockets and I believe few classrooms in our school. This is quite a beautiful table in my opinion. It's got a great grand surface for you and others to work with on, and it's got a very luxurious space underneath which you can take a pretty cozy nap, and most students take advantage of that underneath the stairs in the learning pockets. And for that, I would give it a bougie ranking. It's a bougie bench.
Okay, now we're on to more of the tables found in the lunchroom as opposed to classrooms. And we're starting it off with the square, light gray, short lunch table. This one, there's not really much you can say about it. Like, it's a table. And it gets the job done. Like,
less grubby than the other tables, but nothing exceptional.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 in a row because I'm very, very passionate about this next table. It is the round gunmetal gray lunch table. I hate this table with a burning passion. It could be great. It could be great, but there are only 2 acceptable places to sit, and it's so annoying because it's a circle. You should have so many because the legs, they are just put in the most awkward position where you can only sit straight on, perpendicular with the crack. And so that's 1, 2. And then you can't sit here unless you like the crack. There's a crack on it. What are you supposed to do? You can't sit there. And then you cannot sit anywhere other than perpendicular at any angles, because then you can't push your chair and you can't sit there because of the legs. They block you. It makes no sense. It's a terrible design for a circular table. Like this one in superior surfaces, the whiteboard table, those legs, they're put like more inwards in an angle, so you never notice them. But this one, it's just terrible.
And all that combined with the fact that it's often grubby.
Right. Like all the gunmetal gray tables you can always tell when something's on it. It's so annoying. So for all those reasons, this table is, if there was one worse than gum on the bottom, it would be there. But it is gum on the bottom.
Thankfully, we don't have to deal with another gum on the bottom. For this time, we have the tall, square, light gray lunch table. A bit of a mouthful. Like its shorter cousin, it gets the job done. Nothing truly exceptional about it. But for its height, I would have to say it belongs as a bougie bench, because the way it's arranged in the lunch room, there are 8 comfortable, viable spots, and I would say that fits a pretty decent friend group.
Okay, we're on to quite possibly the best classroom table of them all. And this is the pocketed whiteboard math table. These are found in all of the math department classrooms. And if you look in like most of the rooms, especially like Mr. Ellis's room, the legs are an adjustable height. So how Mr. Ellis has it is short and then middle and then tall. And it's all these just perfect spacious tables with the pocket in it for storage of whiteboard markers and erasers. It is the perfect table for math. And for that, it is a superior surface.
Definitely a viable option, with plenty of customization to go along with it. After that, we have also a bit of an enigma. We have what we dub the funny tall large gray table. This can be found in the makerspace, and I believe a few select other locations. This table is far too grand. It has too big of a surface area to be used comfortably, even by a large group of people. It is difficult to reach in the center. Additionally, seating for it is uncomfortable due to its hard edges. And due to its rarity and not being a whiteboard top, we're gonna have to put it as wobbly. Not quite as bad as some of the others we found, but not good.
And then kind of in the same vein, it's like the same style of table, just significantly shorter and smaller. It is the what do we call it? The funny short gray table. And then these are also found in the library and I think a couple other classrooms. And they would just get the job done, but it has a secret. On the center of it, there is like a collapsible outlet thing. So you can charge your iPad, charge whatever, plug stuff in. It's really cool. And for that, it's a bougie bench.
That outlet really gives it a lot of strength. Next up, we have the small red metal circle table. This is found outside in the courtyard. We only found a select few in the courtyard. They were dusty, too small for anything but a single tray to sit on, and loud too. They're pretty obnoxious. If you put anything on them, they go ding 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 ding. They're pretty bad. And for that, we're gonna have to rank it gum on the bottom. Just too small, not viable.
Right. And then here's another one that has two versions. Out in like that main lunchroom courtyard area, there are these picnic tables, and they're wooden. They're pretty cool, pretty like rustic feel to them. So the first one, it's like a normal picnic table. It has the table and then the bench on both sides. It's pretty nice. You can fit like 20 people at it. You can fit so many people. It's amazing. The benches have so much space, and for that, it's a bougie bench.
Not to mention, it's one of the more intellectual tables we find. You'll find a lot of intellectual debates being discussed there. Next up, we have the brother of the double-sided picnic table. We have, this time, a single-sided picnic table. It's pretty awesome. It has all the benefits, except it only has a bench on one side. Therefore, just bumping it down a little bit. We're gonna have to say it gets the job done.
Yeah. Like the other side that has chairs, you only fit like 3 or 4 chairs max. Like there's just not enough space.
Perhaps 5.
Yeah. So also in that courtyard, the last table in that courtyard is this medium round table. It's pretty good. Like it has all those chairs around it. Like it has a surprising amount of space. I feel like you always see so many chairs circled up around there. It's not too special. It just gets the job done.
It's not as dusty as some of the other outside tables either. And finally, to cap it off, we have perhaps, well, depending on where you enter, one of the first tables you'll see when entering LHS. This is the outside lunch tables. These are found directly in front of the school, just briefly behind the bronze Chesty Lion statue. These tables have a liberal amount of seating to them. They're great for seating, eating. The problem comes with their quality. I don't know who made it, But the material on it is like this strange sort of plasticky thing. On hotter days, it can become sticky, especially like onto the skin, and heat up. Not to mention that because these are out in the front and the way the front of our school is designed, wind blowing stuff all around, all that stuff gets stuck under and on top of these tables. It becomes extremely dusty and uncomfortable to sit on, as you feel dirty when you sit at them. For these reasons, it is a gum on the bottom table. It is so bad.
Thanks for watching the extended cut of this
Yes.
table reviews video. This has been a long time coming.
Big
Yep.
kudos to you. This has been cooking for a little more than 2 years now. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more
2
than 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, so thanks for watching.
We really appreciate it. We hope you have a great day. And we hope when you sit at these tables, perhaps you think about them a little differently.
This has been Logan Daniels
And Connor Austin,
reporting for
The Lions Roar.